Assalamu alaikum. Fikuring ilab ga episode ka ko ngagon muju an kas baddo ko li Yameen Rasheed ko. Yameen kinet.
I'm good. Mujo kena.
War rangal ane me week ga astuga ma bar masekate no kar mala video taw ga size bodu kamu me computer mole furi kenge me ekantam ni kori kam other than that yeah everything is good.
And you had to go with video as a medium though.
Of all the things available though. But mind
I knew this would be a problem, that's why I stick with text though. So I never have this issue.
Kurimas Buniman video of all every video is taking about 10 GB of hard disk space. After 30 odd videos, I have finished and the upload no Kurias 30 videos. So yeah, it's jam.
But I find it fascinating that your internet plan allows you to upload all these videos per week, and somehow you still have internet left over.
Oh well, mine is unlimited.
Unlimited Wi-Fi. मैं fair usage जंग check किकिन नो है था. बाकी वाला कर दिया. अब इसमें क्या इंगुलन है unlimited है काम को मैं call कोरे में क्या कनेक्ट का जे हूँ. साथ एक 30 रुपया दी add on गाड़ो अंदर because
that is not fair. Mama, absolutely unlimited. That's just it. मगे minimum speed की वैस M कड़वी मस्त 10 Mbps.
Yeah. So today is 27th. I think my plan gives me something like it's unlimited. It's supposed to be 5 Mbps, but once I hit I think 85 or something, it throttles down to nothing. And then I was trying to load a regular static page. Dirago site up is no other. At least throttle back and dirago site up wade gane when je another increase koram amount of this.
Yeah.
But no way the throttle koream. So yeah, it's kind of bad.
Kamang halle ganna do because I'm looking forward to kamang halle ganna because they are mage video tab gina me accessible bani do. So I'm going to continue talking about this for the foreseeable future until the problem solved.
Yeah, no, it's too little aslumi. Even mobile internet is that expensive. I pay like 1,000 for my regular internet, like giga Wi-Fi, and that's not enough. Yeah. So I just paid Dirago another 130 so that we could do this call. Yeah, let's go.
Me jitang hama agu aramundani do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's dive right into it though.
Yeah, let's dive right in. So trial begins for Moldavian man who fought in Pakistan for 9 years. It's the first trial of its kind though.
Far as I know, yeah. And first, I think somebody else was taken to the court and nothing came out of it. Do kolli karne ge far ko me hatiyara ek me fenigen Pakistan karne deport kori ba ko as at the time gaano na konete e kushak gota or something like that, and they were just released. Ega fahom mehar there is an anti-terrorism gaano which criminalizes or defines as a crime fighting in foreign wars. So, ega dasham kanyenge miguna miha Pakistan ga nuwa harwande hangurama ga bayaveri kamaguna.
But so that would mean this would set a precedent for all instances. Me ane mihuna idikola dawa kuran technically and theoretically hendo wanje heni.
Hopefully, let's see adi ves nege do megen varne gote, because at the end of the day in a court you still need to present valid evidence, and it can't just be that Minabunya that he was a top militant in Waziristan. I think they would need. He could just be saying that for street cred.
Top militant in Waziristan, we believe. Twitter bio.
So at the end of the day, it needs to be proven in a court of law that this guy was what he is accused of being. And I think the court gave him the Hadoge me to arrange a lawyer. And that's it. That's But the thing that really struck me about this story was this is the first terrorism thing that I've seen in the news. Ekamako terrorism ga dawa ko ge mihar jalal afida Nasheed or Adib or Nazim, I don't know, like all these cabinet ministers and political
Absolutely.
dissidents, the ones who are protesting at the airport. So Kuring Jenny Latif and Nasheed, I think 2004-5 is goes. So yeah, and we there's some dispute over the numbers. Anywhere between 30 and 200 Maldivians have gone to Syria and Afghanistan and Pakistan border hisab, Waziristan. So this dude left for studies in 2007, and they have sold and he was the top leader of the militant group. So yeah, so that was what I had to observe. Like if you're going to study somewhere other than Waziristan.
Me Waziristan Bunar flag and Alamando and Mamma Pajan Kodakos Aswella.
Yeah. No, but genuinely, this is something that has previously come up in various discussions. The Rajagami, this radicalization, STEM Korane like what can you do to prevent people from going down this path? And I have always felt we need opportunities in places other than Waziristan, so that once you're a school dropout, or if you don't have the finances, you really can't get into a good school, a good university in a good country, in a decent country. Education and social rank so people are drawn towards it, and then these are basically recruiting stations for their wars, which is unrelated to the Maldives. But people find purpose, and they end up down this. So yeah.
Me and them I'll wait until you finish it. Me random terrorism dawa. So full disclaimer. Divesh Dawla to Masha West terrorism dawa. I spent a considerable amount of time. I was a 20-year-old. Vihi aharu vi maafushi jaduga. So ekam viga kya denta. Ekam viga taki ma beruga kiyawang ore fa de eruga marathi ole me hamad ma dive kuchaka. De ma chuttiya me ai December uga 99 ga. So 19-year-old kid back home chuttiya. Then eruga me gani ane by-election majidi huge by-election ready wani or something, I don't remember exactly. They commekas me hinga wakamaki me arson attack take hingani yo then ekidanta then afano building go rokolla lam again 13 ko me steel trade center go uri me dustbin ek go rokolla.
Was in 1999.
1999. So me, I was a 19-year-old kid. Me, so dustbin ek gavis rokolla. Then me the escalate kolla again. People were saying me are threatening as funadu menane nekala hulla. My the funadu me oil tank tawga hulu jahana menga. So obviously that's a very serious threat. Because that's a disaster though aning ekang hingafi ya bodu ko ba. So mihun then ane sarkar nangkole hash ko jasam like dehem mumuge terega vigotaki ma eru garathe golu kujaga bebe bebe mi gendani mi timmihun kanne de eru ga announce ko pati timmihun kanne ataro mihunge group e pejji yaves question in agennane. Then come as mean a baby again goes sing. Can the Maggie carry us the market the cook? Then my carrier me and a meat corong at Agadiga near Cadef for them. Then Cadef in the Miami Kennedy. One baby again goes see me. Gang go a dag and group a dag or ever Salegi Kiafa. Repeat a guy for Tipa. Then, mind you, Ekala, I was this cocky kid, and I was like, right, I need to impress this woman. And
This is how everything starts with
this
women
is how
and impressing
everything.
them.
Yeah. So I was like, right, Titi Kadelu Hedo.
uh,
Then comments come Kurabadan. Then ma ediki Ratisakatum. Then ere in a beer gosma, the Ratisakato phone at la mobile phone at la 9 and a 119 dot in a jega. 119. Ah, 119. Yeah. 119 amma gulafi. Gulaf them ma hetaka deeping a kaivan conga. Coming and making it already. Yeah, දැන් ඒ දිනුවක තෙරේක මා පුණි එම්මේ එච්චෙක්ග මෙමියෝ ඉෆනිගේ දැන් මෂන් එහෙන් දිනුවක තෙරේක මෂක් බොනවනි කලේමෙන් හම ඉතුරිහා මීහකෝ අන මගවතින් උපුරාලෑන් එරෙස්ටු කුරා ඉරු රංගල වීයා මේ ज़ाहिर සේනමෙන්ගේ නමවස් කොම්මස් තනෙග්ග හුළු ජහනිය දැන් සුවාලකි ज़ाहिर සේනමෙන්ගේ වුණවනි කීවේ because the guy's home is next door to mine. That was the first thing that popped up into my head. 19-year-old cocky kid. Then my phone go for him mama baba then ma ane asu eru
seemed like a good idea at the time.
It seemed like a really good idea at the time. Then ekan kuri was me ane hemmer danukarigaru unnadu me pool kuletana I forgot the name. Then eta eterega me it was like a nightclub astugenga and they shut it down later. On a pool table, Takamatiga cafe, I light it now, that you're a so it was there. They a number I did this call. Then I came home, the Magiang I Gakanaka 130 Hakangar. Magapas in sitting room. Then Wapakari mentioned it's called Papa him with J. So I was like, okay, and then he said that may not be a really smart thing to do. Then that was all he said, and then I went to bed. They do call him Fatih, Papas go afin. Yeah, same day. Papas go but this kind of a hackangara. But Muju, Sifang with no. Then come make a Sifang Balagos and a Balama go single. The Amber. Sifangia phone ko gen ज़ाहिर सेण wengeega hulu jahani ek yaw threaten kuri masadaga yar magen ko semini terrorism ganon geda. Can you fucking imagine?
But that's pretty impressive for 99 to to find you out. That's like an amazing bit of detective work in what, a few hours to find you over something that was probably not meant. Well, where did they go wrong?
Me asuga we got a guli mobile phone. It was early days of mobile. It was a phone with my a friend of mine who had, and I didn't even own a phone, mind you, at the time. So it was his phone. They had taken him, and then he had said, okay, I lent my phone to a friend. So then the friend was taken, I'm the friend. And anyways, I spent Male and Shahidu Sangadam building get Devanaburi in a holding cell 2 weeks, 28 days in the holding cell, 14 days at a basement to get Thiriga in Udagoli. Now, no daylight. Then any fluorescent Hudukulag, Dilla, Redua, Badalua, kind of thing. I make a Bangi Goa even Islam. So 14 days there, and then Mafushi Jaluga and a Fansas at us. Ni Mafushi Jaluga TV, Luisat me on TV Goliega, Tim Fa and a Shack gang, Ashigate Gamati and Idagi. Fansas Adduas Nimonima Gengos Dawa Kuri, Diveraja terrorism gone on with the home. Dawa Kofa Masha Hukum Vesku Fana Rahara Jala Hukum con Nimma Namaves Kieva Kujavima Furtam offense Vima Sateka Vansas Rufia Jury Manako Masala Nimichikia Gazi Jahan. So terrorism is
so you are a convicted terrorist. So this is not president setting at all. The me, this top militant from Waziristan, you're like ahead of the curve.
If you wanna, me wanna frame it like that, yeah.
Like I want to call it a convicted terrorist project. So yeah.
But
Um,
that was my first exposure into these political things, and that really left an impression in my mind, which could
but how
define.
was your like during your detention? Was there nothing you could have done legally, Misal? I mean, I know this was back in Gayyum's heyday, but still, was there nothing in the system to prevent a 19-year-old from being taken and being kept for something like what 80 days behind uh with no sunlight, or like you said,
I don't know.
was there
අහන්නකම් එක්සෙසන් නුවේ ලීගල් හෙල්ප් එක අහන්නකම් එක්සෙසන් නුවේ මිහකම් අහන්නකම් එක්සෙසන් නුවේ එව්වස් කමකම් මචං විහියාර පුරෝනේ මාෆුෂි ජලෝ ගොලිය ගෝවා අහන්න ඒ බන්දුග තෙරේග වි හැම එකනේ එක්සෙස් වි මගේ බර්ත්ඩේ එක ගාඩකම් හුරි මිහක ඇස මහත් ගෝවාදා බරනේ මේ මුජුදෝය කිය බනේ මායක බනේ සිගරට් දිහ බනේ කය වප්ප බුන්නේ මේ සිගරට් කය නියල්දී බලා. But that was the only outside contact ever in that time.
Wow. And then they just convicted you and released you. So, I mean, what were you doing at that time? And were you studying, and were you enrolled somewhere?
I had just me ma O-level limma fa O-level limoni 98 ka limma fa then I had failed on accounting, okay? And a business kiwi. So I went to Lanka and redid my accounting, and then I had gone me Australia. Me I did a certificate for in Australia, Perth, and then I had just gone into me university. And then I was telling you the other day that my addiction I achieve funny again. Me clarity asking. En kop nukurege ambura. So ambura add aturuga de mivetaki me Malaysia ka treatment nagafa Male media December ga ekala New Year holiday gossa then mikolang annam vegen alung ambura e daturuga benono iche.
Wow. But let's see, now that we have higher standards of legal requirements, let's see if this militant guy actually gets prison sentence or not, because I'm aware of a previous incident where multiple people who were caught with weapons were let go because there was nothing in the sort of penal code or in the law that could convict them.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it would be very interesting to see how this goes, though, because, as you said, this is the first terrorism ever. And let's see how these people actually treat a real terrorist.
Yes. So let's go to the next headline.
Right. So we have Saudi Arabia to send teachers set up Arabic language center in Maldives.
Right. So this is a continuation of all these policies to align ourselves closer with Saudi Arabia and China. So we have I don't know how to feel about this. What do you think?
Arabic language, though, I mean, as a language, right? As let's recognize first that we are Gaumaki Muslim government kama me and Islam ge core text taka hori Arabic kama, and it's very important for people to understand emihunge religious text ke manaya hori. So there's real value in learning Arabic for a Muslim. So we can't deny that. Ekamakumi, is this the most important thing right now? Hey, And is this costing the state money here, or is this just a gift from Saudi Arabia here? If it is costing us money, I would definitely argue against this as not a priority. But if this was just a gift from Saudi Arabia, as long as it's just going to be educational purposes for the
Mm.
set up language I don't mind it. We have to understand Saudi Arabia funding madrasa taka school tauga me Sunni me Wahhabi extremism breeding grounds ka badalu favorikama ekama check it levi jekam gawanya. I don't see any harm in it. So how would one go about putting a check on that? That's a different
Yeah.
issue altogether.
So again, I think you hit on my concern about it, but it is not Arabic,
Mm.
it is Saudi Arabia.
Mm.
And Saudi Arabia is a state that is known to spend a lot of money spreading its influence in this region. And from what we can see, anywhere that its influence has spread has never had a good outcome.
Mm.
Pakistan, Bangladesh, Maldives, Malaysia. I think so. They're everywhere where this funds and it's not just funds. It's not just Arabic centers. They're also funding me their ideology spread Quran again. You give scholarships and you give things, and they train people in the Saudi state ideology, and then they send them back as this true Islam, this harsh worldview of and what this does is this upsets the existing Islamic cultures in places like Pakistan and India, which have very rich Islamic cultures. They have, it's been around 1,000 years, and they have so finally, melded with this local culture. And ඒතිහාස එක්ක disrupt මෙවනේ and එයාගොල්ලගේ මියන්නනේ බරබෑවල social changes තක රාජ්‍යයක සස්තවගේ මියොල්ලනේ a foreign ideology has sort of crept in and it is being imposed on us as true Islam. Then and it is being used Saudi Arabia for political purposes to keep the population under check, and this is a valuable tool to all of these places. That is my concern about it. It is not Arabic as a language, it is Saudi Arabia as a country that is exerting influence over us. So personally, whether it is the French spreading French language through Alliance, or the British has the British Cultural Center, the British Library, the Americans have the American Center, but Egota Balanya, that is fine, but is Saudi Arabia the country that we want to align with? That is something
that is the concern, though, because wherever Saudi Arabia has been to, it's like tornadoing Arafat, and destruction is just right behind it, no?
Yes. So that is my concern. The fact that this is a symbolic of our shifting allegiances towards being a client state for this country, and that's my concern that I got from this headline.
Speaking of which, there was a recent indication as well, though, this week, that the King Salman would be visiting, possibly come an indication of his though.
I have missed this, but I think he did a visit before he was king, when he was a prince.
But now the king is going to come on.
Okay, maybe.
So I heard this on Twitter this week. Well, actually, it was yesterday exactly. So this is something I should also look into it. But obviously, this is coming down to the shifting alliances and that's a concern.
It's also a concern from a sort of democratic point of view, because earlier the Trump is in power, but generally Western liberal democracies have been a constant partner throughout. Rajaga's democracy, we had experts from Australia and the British Conservative Party, and they helped build this framework on which to build institutions. They gave us a draft constitution from which to start on. So if we want to proceed down a democratic path, we sort of want to be closer to countries like the EU and places that and India and well, not just the West, but also countries like India that uh, are democratic, are
Mhm.
practicing democracy in their regular things, can help in building our institutions. If we're going to push all of them away, Commonwealth and Beru and Ekka, then pushing away the EU and the West. So every authoritarian regime in this region, Rajapaksa and everybody has moved closer to China because they don't really care about human rights.
No, they don't.
And the Arab countries, Malaysia, I guess, I think the person is closer to the Saudi king. So these are indicators of larger changes, and those larger changes are the things that I'm concerned about. And just in case anybody thinks I have a problem with Arabic language, I don't. It is this political shift that is concerning.
Ma avesse concern attuidanti furtama language wahakapuni and I'm absolutely open to people learning the
And I
Arabic
think they
language.
should learn West Kannege because even I don't understand Arabic,
Hmm.
but I have to read religious scriptures. So like my parents and grandparents, they don't speak Arabic either, but they are Muslims and they read and they pray, but they don't really know what they're saying. So I think just the knowledge of Arabic, and not just spoken Arabic, but the classical Arabic,
Mm.
would help liberate yourself from these people who are going to otherwise come and tell you me amiti onna gotakiya this is
Vara
so
muhim mukamenta because I think Divine as Muslims should
mm,
understand Islamic scripture taka huriha text take wahaka and a
mm,
prayer tauge meaning taka huriha ichus, and I think that would allow
mm.
Muslim Maldivians to be better Muslims, I think.
I am actually pardon my very limited knowledge on this subject.
Mm.
I think there was some sort of controversy or disagreement during Nasheed's government where I think Rajak is cool there. I think there was a sort of attempt. I might be completely wrong, but there was a sort of attempt to use the Cambridge syllabus
Mhm.
on, I think, either Islam or Arabic in the Maldives because they do have that from Cambridge, but there was disagreement locally because tool classrooms in if you take that and give it to Cambridge, then you have a purely academic interest. Some people lose certain powers, and I don't think that ever happened. But there was some discussion of it that I've overheard. But again, I don't know the details enough to actually go into it.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm, next
let's
story.
proceed.
Yeah, that's
Great.
yeah.
This one I found funny.
All right.
So,
So Maldives assures full security of foreign investments. Mikala
yes.
ito ba rahad or kideda?
Miharmi Tingahar Hatara Hardame Wane. They has Tingahar Hatarawana Harme since they've been promising uh for the investor ba they the Saganda work
Mm,
investment to taka, and none of it has
has
materialized.
materialized. Yes.
Yeah, so because right in 2012, late 2012, they sent out the biggest ever investment, GMR, and then even back then we knew that this is the last big investment we are going to see in this country
For the foreseeable near future, though.
for the
Okay.
foreseeable near future. Because think about it, why would any investor come and spend several hundred million of their money in a country with no rule of law, no political stability, no
Absolutely.
assurance that this is going to give them a return? Because this is a huge, that's what people invest for. They're going to make money off
Mm,
it. They want security and stability. And uh, I think even GMR had the arbitration in a Singapore court,
mm-hmm,
which is the only reason why they got back any money at
mm-hmm.
all, I think, because there is some rule of law happening over there. So yeah, I don't think. these people are fooling anybody by saying they're going to get big investments. Whose loan? Hatta was loan mein nakani.
Me,
50 million,
it's
50 million.
it's like a lion saying the Tivanavara Rativane me dear
Uh,
taka.
yeah, it's just not going to happen. And
No.
so when Shiny was speaking at some sort of investment forum in
So it was
India, and
his turn now though.
the Shiny hamiche danekas investor nammi this ರೀತಿ ಮಂಜರದ ದಕ್ಕಂದ ಅನೆಕ್ಕಾಸ್ ಅನೆಕ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಸರ ರಂಗಳ ಕೊಫೆಮಿನ ವಾಹಕದಕ್ಕೆ investments ಲಿಬೇತ. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. So
Well, Larry Hodanga Bajananda, as you said, the movies like SimCity habit fund pura best.
ಅದು ಬಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಲಾರಿ ಹಾರದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಂದೆ ಕಾಂತತ್ತ ಬಸ್ ಕೂರವೆಂಗತಿ ಮೊನ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ತಮಿಕೊಳ್ಳಂಗನ ಕೊಳೆ ಬದಲ್ಕೋ ಹರಾಬಕತ್ತಲೆ and it costs money. And yes, and I think the only funding that they have gotten is through loans on undisclosed terms from countries like China, who want political influence in the country. And I think we discussed in the last video or the one before that about what happens even in Sri Lanka. They can't pay back that money, and then they end up giving away equity to Chinese companies, and the government basically has influence.
I mean, we should officially do a bet kannege SEZ ga me furtama main investment annan kitang aharto asu nagani.
That was also a huge big ticket headline back in the day, SEZ and this and that. But basically, all they have done so far is Horihara Shafale, Horihacha Vikala, Deminagani loan naga mihar loan was nudi bene kannege vistana konde me danekas investor faatu me duwane.
Me Vikalari konta coach pami hadeni. Where does that money go?
Certainly not towards anything the public can use. That I know, because our standard of living hasn't increased. Prices of things have risen. Electricity bills. Ebbis kame kuram me loan nagayagande kam vis kuram me jehne like right. So the only visible thing I could see was Muizuga SimCity thing. That's what I'm referring to. That's where all the money is going. Other than that, I don't see anything.
Mimiu bakkan nukurani kama banya de kama stakatta dani do.
Yeah, aneka reserve course ne hemima ATS usvejja GMR badal dakka madage. So yeah, it's not looking. And then the next headline is the regime takes over Qasim's Villa airport. So on one hand, this guy is in India asking for investors to come and assuring them and security. And Qasim airport matulani da, and that's a local investor.
Private VFR VFR beenun gotaka fundale vedakam geheki midakkeni.
The airport has been taken over from Villa Group, and I think the other Villa airport, Mamigil airport, has been downgraded to domestic. But that was apparently on Villa's request. And I didn't even know it was an international airport. But yeah, apparently
it was. But you know, number HV1 international airport Kanagalu via Benny Kanega Power Cheetah Berleva shit meet work and no me if we can change hang a chicken on board Balukure airport on board the Badalkureka.
But again, Qasim was Mikurani. Why? Because he made a public stand in favor of Gayyum.
Yes.
You know that the government has the ability to unilaterally act regardless of any law on paper. And that's what investment. Investors sort of need a rule of law, which is a system that protects you even from the government. And there are things that even a government cannot or should not be able to do if investors are to come, though. And so nobody wants to risk millions of dollars on something that fickle.
I mean, millions of investments and then after that, the millions thing just much more obvious.
Hey, so even local investors are suffering. So foreign investors, they have zero control in a local environment like the Maldives. So China can keep going to investment forums. It is not going to happen.
He's going to be a shiny beacon for the dictatorship.
Like Latvia's gonna by far like miwahaka dakkam, because as a Maldivian, I do want investments to come to my country. I want there to be dollars available for my convenience.
Mm.
But the fact is, the country does not have a framework for investors to come in, and that is sad.
I think I can
Okay,
point.
and that's all I have to say about that, really. Because
Yeah, not much to say. I mean, we could continue whinging.
yeah,
Right, so
so
yeah, Dirag. Finally, they said discounted the band.
and they have apologized for the internet outage as well. So Adi was discounted. Libene ki have recommended. They said has a discounted Libene mimaho bill libe. So I'm just counting on them to not disappoint me.
Me,
Eka mihar eka සතියක 30 රුපියල්ම දක්වා මේ වීඩියෝ අනකති කරම් වගේ discount කණ්ඩාල. Yes, I think I'll just pay the usual
itura
amount
no
as
me dekki for that. Ekawako. Yani, yeah, nobody says to Rajya come by me commit money kiha varakato. That bothers me.
I think they haven't yet decided. I think they just sort of like, okay, we definitely have to give a discount, but how can we do this in a way that does not impact any revenue and only applies to certain people of certain. Because I feel like I don't think anybody's going to get anything useful. Let's see.
They pointless and astuga.
It's a business, but surely it could do something good for the customer once in a while. But I will let you know in the next video if it was something exciting.
All right, well, cool.
Okay.
Mm.
So next headline was utility companies, Stelco and Fanaka Corporation suing a speedboat company to recover some millions that they lost in a currency exchange scam.
Very interesting market though.
Very interesting.
Mm.
So Rajega dollar ජීපද හොරි හැම මෙස්ම තිබේ ඩොලර් and ලිබේ බැංක අකවුන්ට්ස් මිහාර එක්ක හොට්ටාලා ටිකට් ගන්නක එයාපෝට් එක ගොස් සර්විස් check in kon nimege boarding pass ifagan diyama kannege dollar milip tu kurani from Bank of Maldives. And this is again not normal in other countries, especially a country like the Maldives, which is a tourist destination where we get all our income in dollars. We shouldn't have to be this hard, pressed for dollars. Libanjan, it should be a freely convertible thing. You can take any number of rupiah to a bank and you should be able to convert it. That's not how it's happened.
I want to make another comment about this thing. Everybody knows that the resorts are making a killing. And annually revenue gotuga anni sarkaruge irukannege for annual tourism revenue figure bunneru $10 billion industry ekkama ane wahaka dekki. So let's assuming that the industry has grown in size over the years and not become smaller. So we're talking definitely a huge, more than $3 billion tourism industry. But this dollar, a $3 billion revenue, a $3 billion plus dollars revenue, funds exchange, industry and value coming bunani. Yeah.
There is some.
Sorry.
There is some sort of routing going on. Apparently, the dollars do not necessarily come into the country. The travel agent gets paid in dollars in another country. It gets deposited in a foreign bank, which gets deposited in another foreign bank. So apparently, there is some concerns about that as well. The fact that while these companies that are operating in the Maldives get a lot of dollars, these dollars do not necessarily come into the state. And therefore people do not have access to it.
parallel the economy side by side hinga tiyenu. There's the rufiya economy for the poor, the wehing, and then the dollar economy for the elites and the resort owners and the people in the tourist business.
Parallelly, they gawmudu aslu
Ama
mihingani.
de gawmu
There is
mihingani do me ಡೊಲರುಂ ಗಣವಿಕ್ಕಣಿ ಡೊಲರುಂ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿ ಕುರಣಿ ಡೊಲರುಂ ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ ಕುರಣಿ ಡೊಲರುಂ ಮುಸಾರ ದೇನಿ ಉರಿಹಾಕಮೆಂ ಹಿಂಗನಿ ಟೂರಿಸಂ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಡೊಲರು right. Everybody knows this. Me sirrebbes no, this is just what's happening. And then male me rashuge ahen urihamena rufiya economy me olani en halle gama duha kos nanna ne do until the government just makes a stand on it. A stand make kureveni that by law resort tabbe sama vyapari kuran jehani dibe rufiya ai. So touristung hama male wanima ane airport kunna counter gosa dollar mark kuran jehani dollar mark kurima ekkala bank account takalla ari wannani do bank taka en rufiya anigati wani erun dollar tatte visnuwane do ganuni gotum no mikam mihin kureven jehani. This is just one executive order fix එක වාගමි දක්වන්නේ.
Now that you mention it, I remember Nasheed very kanne boda handamani, or it could have been Wahid. There was this statement or move by MMA saying that the local currency should be used for all trades, but MMA is about $1 like for travelers. So I really don't know the solution to it. This is one obvious example. Misaka, if I go to India, I cannot go to a shop and pay in dollars normally. I will need to go buy it from the airport or from a foreign exchange place and then use Indian currency. So that money, the dollars have already gone into the system. And yeah, that seems to be pretty simple. Why do you think it's not happening?
Because the elites want the dollars back again. They हम हाशकोंग हम बोनम भी खांगो गता हम यही है वार गते एंगे जवेरिन ना बारूरी मीहुम बेनुम नोंगे डॉलर तो सिस्टम तेरे दाकंगे मीहुंगे अतत दाम बेनुम बनी देंगे हम ये मग गाडोर शेप को के गाँव हम हिंगनी हम गस्तु का.
Yeah, that seems pretty straightforward. Anyway, so nobody has dollars, not even Stelco. So MMG's commerce project तक हिंगन डॉलर बेनुम में गया. Stelco pays 3 million and Fenaka Corporation pays 17 million to a speedboat company.
I know, what a weird and awful the people.
And they were supposed to pay it back in USD, but they never did. Then they go to the court over this. So there are things I don't understand about it. First of all, why is a speedboat company providing forex services? This cannot be normal.
Sane me money laundry a funny we hang here no just off the top of my head. There was a launder kuruga masekate ataggo again. Then somebody needs to be responsible.
So there are miharo ane aburuga ganon fast korema. The news websites are unable to name people, so I also don't know who it was, but there's some political links with this speedboat company that could not be named because of Aburugada.
Yeah, convenient though.
Yeah, so this is exactly why media needs to be free to point out. I'm not saying this person is did a crime, but yeah, this speedboat company belongs to this certain MP or certain cabinet minister or certain politician. Ever bruna venja hand da mehar public me te hama ko deven ebbes ko tenne
me abura behme kamen undo e me veni kumfunya ka massage egen abule kumfuni ge owner onnaki niye bolu
ekamako wes rajyege me onnane media gag koffa, and that was the whole purpose of this thing, so that you cannot name names until it is proven or verifiable. And I think it is pretty provable if this company has a link with a certain politician, though enage company vejjavnana kommestane register was koffa. But yeah, so there is a political link somewhere according to the media, but they are unable to name who it was.
As usual, I'm hang up with this bunny.
Okay,
They were
let's
the
quickly
came
skip ahead.
one with
Uh,
the as you said, the
uh,
other religions must have done
Angga bantu kurang jahit sabu dengan Hindi
uh,
nutenge ba ade da dekka mian
uh,
hafta ga iwa ka dakkar ne ma baranga bahi. So other religions is our go-to card.
yep.
If anytime there's something uncomfortable happens, like who does the speedboat company belong to? ये Zionist tonge बोल रहे तो मैंने कहा करा It's just yeah,
Deflect.
deflected other religions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Next.
Nasheed
Mm.
has called for the opposition to field a single candidate in 2018, which is a reasonable request, except who is this single candidate, and is it going to be somebody from the MDP, or is it going to be Nasheed himself? Because he can't technically contest Adi Gotham Hukumibba for him. So who do you think is likely to be a opposition candidate?
This is what a weird because there isn't anybody right now who is credible who said, "Look, I'm interested in running for presidency." එහෙම then අනේක default one me jeheni අනේ political party taka political organization taka fake political groups like MUO kahala එච්චිගේ leadership අද්ද දෙහෙම me Jamil okay hey
No, not Jamil. Not Jamil. I will
me
not vote for Jamil.
of course I will not vote for Jamil. If it was a vote between Jamil and Yamin come me tammerulias me bolane mage vote lani Yamin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I would just
Jamil
not put
is.
that vote.
I actually to this day I don't know why Jamil is a political figure. Like, at which point did he become politically relevant?
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, how is he a person still, and why did Nasheed put him in charge of MUO? And I don't understand any of it, but I just hope that the single candidate is not Jamil.
Me let's kuda ko me the pick kolla mainge that's wild. Why did Nasheed agree to have Jamil as the leader of MU, or why not Nasheed himself? Though me annike anando hakuri kuliyekule wahaka. Then okay, and he's a clever guy. So I'm not sure if he's able to play hakuri kuliya kuriha fara atago afuri farwas madennu anado hakuri kuliya kulunna makena tum very recommend ugelde. So we should accept that ena hakuri kuliya kulena me kuriha fara guna fara kamya bunuanakan atago abu shit wa fara se burika enuna me very come go uris ane amagans passar kuris ekamaku. I think Anni recognizes and understands that MUO may not be something of let's make this Jamil the patsy fall guy. Let's just go with this guy.
To give a more kinder interpretation, I think, like, no matter what anybody says, Jamil was the vice president of one of the vice presidents of this regime. Maybe that title matters on paper. Yamin, the vice president, is now leading the united opposition thing. That could be a kinder interpretation. But at the same time, I still remember watching the announcement in London of the MUO, and Nasheed gave the sort of keynote sort of address, and then he steps down, and then with the podium representatives of various political parties, and then Jamil is doing all the talking, and it was so embarrassing. There were these. It was billed as a very big event. This is the moment when all the political parties have come together and going to lay out their vision for change, democratic change in the Maldives. And then Jamil starts talking, and he is incoherent. He does not answer any question put forward by the international media gathered there. I remember one very specific incident. Somebody asked, like, so what specifically are you trying to, what are the things that you're going to achieve or work towards to achieve this goal? Hama Yameen Bhavani and Kakabhavani complains everything, and he just does not come up with an answer. So there was no vision, there was no strategy, and the absence of it is still felt
Mind you,
till
me,
today.
mind you, me, the politics do apat was Yamin a Beoman, Gayum a Beoman, and a falling Anni a Beoma, Wahidu a
Yeah,
Beoma. Nobody talks about substance, huri merit, huri wahake, Nudakanan.
and this
Apat
is
was
the
Pavan.
international media. This is not the local, Sun and Vaguta.
Yeah, I know.
They want an answer,
I
and
know,
they
but then
persisted.
these people are conditioned. Migota Vimakawan with the international media, those who are irrelevant and
Yeah.
they are incapable of being anything other than going after the guy and saying, "Look, yeah, me no me buffet."
Then I had a source there from the international media, and they were like, "This does not look like the beginnings of a revolution. That is just some dude sitting around a table, and they have nothing to inspire the press or the masses or anybody." And it's so disappointing. And I keep contrasting Jamil's performance in London at that announcement, MUOG announcement, versus Gayyum's reform agenda that he laid out in the PPM party office. And just to contrast it, like Jamil was in London in this, posh, in a hall with the media and everybody present, the international media present, and Gayyum was in his PPM office. There were the riot police outside. The military was on a armed vehicle, personal carrier. There was this huge, what's the sort of pressure on him. And Gayyum was just calm as fuck. He's just sitting there laying out what happened before. There's an alternate power center. This is not how things should be. This is why we created PPM. These are PPM's principles. Here's how I'm going to fix it. And this guy does not have power. He does not have any MPs or anything yet. He does not even address this. He doesn't call anybody by name. He doesn't abuse anybody. He doesn't say, "Yeah, man, very come He's like, here's the problem. Here's how we arrived at this point. Here's what I'm going to do as president of the party. And this is where we should be. And I'm going to have an advisory committee of these people. These people were not in the council because of these reasons." He's that clarity of thought. Like, I felt hope. I'm not a PPM member. I'm not a
Yes, it
Gayyum
just
fan.
goes to show. I mean, Gayyum's a better politician.
No, the fact that he was able to strategically lay out a vision, like, then this might not happen, but at least he had the vision that he could present and say, "Listen, people, PPM needs to be this. This is where we are going. And to reach there, these are the things we need to fix. And these are the things that are wrong today, that there's an alternate power center. And these are people who are doing this. So, and this is the work I have done so far. It did not bear fruit. So now I'm going to change tactics and do this." That clarity of vision was what really got to me. And Jamil just did not have that. And that's why I have never been a believer in this MUO's capacity for change.
The mihar mihafta tere tibune na mihar MUO ke maksad ta ki MD and PPM split kollo me.
Yeah, there was been certain accounts on Twitter saying that, but no, I am not convinced at all that MUO has. I don't even believe that they have a vision that they could have achieved. They're sort of looking back in hindsight and looking at, okay, these three things happened and that was our goal. But that is not how goals work. They should be forward thinking. It's like Kuribaga Bunafado achieve Kuram and splitting PPM is irrelevant to democracy.
Such a disappointment. Inge me MDP ige leadership falimmes MUO mihar hadagemmes. Adi ehem party takummes that there's just no honesty. There's no talk of vision. There's no policy plans. There's no plan, timeline to achieve goals, fix things, none of that. Inge dengama elia batakar riha vegan rai tungama anni bune fie bune madde miharo harmangosa MUO vegan mulen bi deng MUO ge candidate unta ke miharu council in Tihaba, I mean, what the fuck, really?
Yeah, so that's what I keep feeling that yes, there is a lot of public resentment towards the government, but the channel Quran, the first thing you need is to give people hope,
Hmm.
some inspiration, like some vision of the future that midimalishe dambenavani mihere kantata kurima mikan hasilwane hingashe emme mekan mikan kurama and then ikan kuravene mihe ves takka fada.
Hmm.
You need to believe in democratic change to actually achieve it. Yeah, like emme miti ve padaka mayus vefa mikan no, and that is partly the government's goal is to make sure that nobody has this hopes no left ahead. Kita meg ada kameg sama ukong ivaja lagengas kota hasiruko. Mikanta me korani so that you lose your fighting spirit. You're intimidated into silence. And to counter that, we need to have a very strong objective and a mission. And when don't promise everything, promise things, under promise, over deliver, have that thing going where. But MUO has completely failed to provide any sort of vision to me, and it continues that way.
I just cannot get on board. I mean, I identify myself as a liberal guy. I'm more aligned in my views with the original MDP activist movement. Annige political vision taka mage visions the align wale fasehawane PPM faliyano ni hengechaka ekamako. Nothing has given me hope that they have a plan to fix this mess.
What if somebody like Faris Mamun becomes the unity candidate?
That would be interesting, no? That would
I
be
was just
very
thinking, like, I mean, that would please Gayyum certainly, but more than Gayyum, I actually saw this very nice sign at this women's march thing in
Are you
Maldives, the
seeding an
carnival.
idea?
Yeah, no. So there was this poster this girl was holding, and it said, something like that. Males have failed basically to run the state. It's probably time for a woman to do it. And I would actually really like something like that. I mean, even within the MDP, when you said people with credibility, I find MP Eva, for instance, to be both popular with the base, has the intellectual capacity to do things, and I find is an honest Democrat in the sense that she believes in democracy. Then there is, I don't know, from the Gayyum stable, Dunya, even though she has now aligned with Yameen. She is pretty formidable in her role as foreign minister, though. So she could be somebody who has the sort of resilience to survive the pressures of that job, though. So it's like it'd be interesting because there'll be a lot of resistance from that. What do you say? And probably not something the opposition wants as a unit, like this another battle to fight in the unified candidate. But I still find the idea of a woman president. Now it's probably time for a woman president in the Maldives.
I mean, I totally back up credible woman candidate. For the record, I wouldn't back someone anghene VPA kiya.
No. I'm just saying that there are some sort like, and there are even other female politicians that, not just politicians, political figures who have sort of, I don't know, I'm not sure if this is the right, like Azima Shakur or like
No,
people who
definitely
have no, but people who have sort of been in this thing as slimy or otherwise as anybody else, but still, I feel there is an interesting debate somewhere there, because since we're looking for new ideas, like why not trust this, and maybe that might even deflect the conversation from everything else to like, are we going to allow a woman to run? I don't know. Let's see.
Definitely we wouldn't be the first though, and a female and a head of state in a Muslim country. In Pakistan, Pakistan has had, Bangladesh has had, and
Indonesia.
Indonesia has had, and few others also though.
Yeah,
Nothing's
but
coming to my
they're
mind
all
yet.
from political families, though.
Hmm.
Even though like they're women, yes, but Benazir Bhutto and Khalida Zia, these are all like they're not because they're people were liberal and women
Yeah,
friendly. It's
they
just
were
that they're from
representing existing
powerful
dynasties though.
families. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Enga ane headlight because we were talking about Gayu.
Yeah. All
So
right.
Gayu
One.
was
By
trying
the way,
to
1 hour was be though. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So Gayu was trying to hold a meeting with PPM members loyal to him, I suppose, in his office in the
Hmm.
PPM Raisuke office, Korea PPM headquarters.
Hmm.
And the police just turned up and said he couldn't. This is not a street rally. This is not a Veolamagana Huttu and a comment. No.
Hmm.
PPM ge raisa PPM ge member unna baddalwa Huttu FEM sarkar. And there's nothing anybody could do about it.
Me
Doesn't
මේ රූම් වෙච්ච ආයිලාගේ බප්පට එන්න අබද්දල් කුරුම සුට්ටු වෙන්නේ.
I mean, I don't think this was referred to. There's no law or anything forbidding Gaiyong from meeting anybody he wants in his office. Magumati gave this comment on that this is just him meeting people in his office, and they apparently said something about the court ruling saying that PPM is now hawal ko for the Rais Yamin, something like that. Even if that were the case, Gaiyom is still free to meet people that he wants, and it was stopped. Just thought there was a bit of irony because this is a system that Gaiyom built. I mean, you were put in a cell for 80 days without any real reason, and the fact that Gaiyom himself is sort of suffering this completely random extra legal procedures is. I'm not saying I'm happy about it. I'm just saying that, yeah, you probably now know what it feels like.
I don't.
To
I do not feel sorry for Gaiyom at all. I have personal reasons. Me mage bappa yaddima wara bෑවරු කංකමයි කිව්වේ. So I think it serves him right that he needs to experience that a build kuri system ena gamilla atuga dan alangambura asking uleta. He should experience that. So
Yeah,
that
it's
was
sort
the
of
only way that he would know him me feel the way.
back when I used to speak with Rilwan, and we sometimes wondered what's the worst way for Gaiyom to end his, life. It's like political life. What's the most humiliating, most worst like ending for Gaiyom? And
යාමනුගේ ගොලියෙක් ගෙන්න කස්සුද.
we always thought that it could be something, he is defeated or he is, put in jail. But I think at the end of the day, this is somewhat worse. He's being reduced to nothing, like irrelevant, other than being a threat and put in jail. That gives him some sort of. It's like, yeah, you may be Gaiyom, but you're not allowed to meet these people, and you can't do anything about it. You're powerless. I think that is a more humiliating end than him being a martyr of something, put
I
in
suppose,
jail or
yeah,
tortured or
definitely,
whatever. He's just left to be irrelevant. Though you're not even under arrest, there's nothing, no case against you. You are just nobody. And I find that interesting. And we never guessed this could be option. Though back then, Gaiyom was still powerful back in 2012-11. So it's like. Yeah. But this is like a sadder end for his political life, I feel.
මේ එකම මීගෙන් වෙස් ලෙසන් එක නුන ගානේ ඒගේ වෙස් මේක දැන් හව මේ වෙස් බෑනම් කුරානි මලාමක් කුරන්න ඕනේ යා දෙර එන ගයුම සිම්පතිවා මේ සිම්පතිවානි ගයුම් දෙක රුලියන්න මේ මලාමක් කුරානි මේක ලෙසන් එක නුන ගානේ මිහිර අනේ සිස්ටම් ෆේල් වන්දු කල්ලීම මිහිර වී ගොතා මිකන් අලුන් එල්ලවනු කුරෙවෙන් none of that will happen nige if anybody thinks ekahalakamma waanakama vejjiya that is wishful thinking. We can write that down now because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So the next couple of headlines are just kind of short
Mm-hmm.
bits. One is the ports company is under investigation over a boat deal. So what happened is MPL has apparently procured a small boat. It is damaged, some bits of it are rotten, and they spent 5 million on this boat. The Anakol CEO says, CEO of MPL says, hey, if he wants the million was he would have bought it. And then he disputed the size of the boat, and then he said the actual thing is actually 3 million rupiah, which is still a lot for a rotten boat, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't seen this boat. Uh, he is also caught in a public feud with uh, Riaz Rashid.
Mm-hmm.
You might remember earlier MPL had uh, went to court over being overcharged for fuel by Riaz Rashid ke Meridium, and the court ordered them to continue buying it for like double the price, and MPL was going into a loss because of this one thing. So I think this is sort of a continuation of that.
Tem hama system tereng hama abuse to boling karna.
Mm. That's I didn't have anything to add to it. It's just that
No.
yes.
By the way, we missed an PPM primaries for local council scheduled for January
Today,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually haven't been following the news otherwise, but I did see Faris Mahmoud get tweeted saying no election in this country can be credible, not even PPM internal elections or the national elections. So I thought that was worth mentioning, but yeah, we all know that. So what?
Mm,
uh, when we discussed the primaries in detail last time, I think they've
mm,
gone on a Chebato. No,
mm. So, but you don't know whether this election happened today or not?
I haven't been following the news for
Mm.
today. I was busy outside most of the day, so.
I didn't
Um,
catch anything on social media as well.
but this is essentially just Yamin get personal faction get
Rubber
elections. I don't think
stamping,
it
no?
was relevant, yeah, because anybody who loses loses. So I don't think this was. I think only 60 something out of 600 seats are actually facing this primary at all.
They
And
should they shouldn't call this me kikatagani. What was the word? Me primary. They should just call it rubber stamping.
hmm.
No, I mean just be honest.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in the next week's article, I might look at the results if I find any, but I don't think that's a big deal, really, having this election. Yeah, I think we
Alright,
could skip forward.
yeah,
We sort
forward
of
forward.
hit our own personal time limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So verdict in Raji TV cameraman trial delayed. That was when you wrote it, but ege fahong
Yes.
that happened though.
Um, Actually, there are three trials happening.
Explain.
I'm actually a bit um, not entirely because I know that verdicts were reached on two of the cases.
Mm-hmm.
They were found guilty and convicted, and this week they were sentenced. Except they did not get jail terms. What they did get was a
Hefty
fine
fines.
of
No?
28,000 rupiah or so. The Raja TV cameraman, on the other hand, was charged, and this was the verdict hearing, and that got delayed. And I haven't really checked the news if the verdict was announced for this case. Another case, the verdict had already been announced. The sentencing hearing was what was delayed.
Okay, okay.
So Edua, the judge, called in sick and was not held. And I honestly haven't followed the update in the last couple of days. So have you heard anything about this?
No, no, no. I was familiar with ane Julimana Kofa
Mm.
anekati Nimonova
Yeah.
kane demi
Mm-hmm.
and I was relieved that wasn't jailed, but
Yeah, yeah.
even
But
the
even then, it is completely unacceptable and appalling that they had to be fined and convicted. This is just mebona harassment and intimidation. They're targeting all sections, businessmen and journalists and writers and social media activists. So this is part of that. Mashang Medi
I did catch though one interesting status updating on Facebook by
Mhm.
Ibra. Okay,
Mhm.
on this. Ibra had suggested that me journalist unta raitonge hagguge masekke kurani den niyadu etibi ebonna nuhaggo hukumek koff bodu yuri mana koffe raitun chandanakam venun heyye me dakkade.
That was actually an interesting thought, but I did not see that become any actual, uh, you know, platform. There's, I think, in fact, I don't know why we haven't done this, but maybe Rayatam Karit me donate Korashe Bonamaga Badala me accounted the Fanota, me Nigogata, Mikan Kurevedane. I think that would have been a better incentive to do it, but I really haven't heard much about it. Like, are they looking for funds, or is it already covered, or I have no idea.
Me
But yeah, the idea of getting the public to participate in this is very, very clever.
but then barangtagi michi cover kura kommas bayako sule do kommas tato aslugo that there are benefactors, benefactors, the beneficiaries.
Benefactors would be the ones paying, and
Right.
beneficiaries would be the one getting. So
Okay,
yeah,
so there are benefactors
yeah.
who sort of take care of this. So, Raja TV is benefactors, the Kangole, MBP benefactors, the Kavasole, some unnamed, powerful, moneyed people.
Yes. So Hinga, that I will maybe come up with an update in the next video and the next week on this. Then, yeah. So you want to read the headline? Go
Right.
for it. Yeah.
Yameen to free hundreds of inmates. Rangaledo helpful.
For the Kandari cars we are. So Mahapushi Jalagos Home Minister me Angani etati inmates 300 warakam me home me clemency policy එක දර්ශන me දුකලාන. They just need to stick to certain basahaganda me obey the prison wardens and do everything as they say, and Yameen loves you a lot. He actually used that word in the English translation. At least I don't know the way kihinek coming
Me
as of
Adameta Anniga Devana Fursata, the Malami Jesse Vava.
yes. And then not just Yameen, Wahid very come against Ituru Fursatake Kiafes me mihanga de Jesse H. Aneka Mihar Yameen Mihar hair for come Dashunda me Tinsatekan ha me home with Koran. But I have my theory about it. It's just that they cannot afford to keep these people in jail. Lari Huswi.
Ane Nimuna Kande Vegoteneti, Opiane Jalu Hinga and Larneti, Haradukanda. Vido?
Haro the Kandala Ekamiti Bemi Hunter Dukolashe.
Kia
Because
Kia
Lari Husima de Mejede Jaluti me covering this Dukola. And then I'm not saying that they shouldn't be released or shouldn't be given a chance, but be honest about it. The prisons are over capacity, they do not have the money to operate it. Then it says Yameen get helpful come Home Minister which is what I found funny.
It's always very miha full common and kankam money. Muli Hadamba Peshi Sureves Divehi Harwing a Mamba Fambus and a Mama Kafas every Durumas Abaduas wearing a hair full of Kamuri hack about this one.
And there's another aspect to this that I probably should bring up. Yameen has in the past refused to use his discretion to say pardon Rasheed or Adib or Nazim. He doesn't want as president to intervene in the judicial process and so on. So there is a sort of inconsistency in his application of his presidential powers. hama midu kuratin sateka mihanga terega hama himanam veda nazim maneka kavis hagigatuba
hama himanalam wen me they go no they wouldn't.
And incidentally today Nazim's there was this update from the UN working group on arbitrary detention, I think, and they ruled that it is arbitrary, that due process was not followed. Aslo jehe hagigatuga do kallan by Nazim West Megateria. And again, that's another person I really do not have any sympathy for.
No, me neither.
But and I don't necessarily want Adib to be released either. But again, due process is a thing that exists and doesn't exist today.
Me har mawara kambaluwa ka pulanda. Me har Adibwa ane Nazima inge.
Jangya Nazim.
De me har de Nazim. We de Jangya Nazim nun karne ka suboda me Colonel Nazim jo ahta takka inge. Me the kauma barang harangkor of the ismi hondo me. Ane democracy wattalu mauri hakamaka Adibu ke case ke vidya bodaki wakkan taka gang boza ka baur kanka honest investigation en hinga fia sabitu eswane evri hakam ekka undeniably deko mehar me wagotaki emi onna terega due process nula system tere waddagen thaluwa hurihakamek kuriya mehar majburege molleni emi honna nu hakkun adabu deni e kiyage niwa dakkashan no
Democrats dakkam me jehen ekkala Democrats and democracy gabul kurami.
Den me waga dakkan den me wagote ki punanta me unna den commerce kala respite no ne relief e hodu ni yo inge for the ane due process neti me honna vi ane then me double jeopardy abane do due process rangal court ke tereng alun dawa kuranji honi ma wes then me mahama me they are actually going to get away with all the crap they did.
Double jeopardy no one do because Nazim hire kori terrorism ge dawa kogge hatiyar ter kore tuhumategga which is not what we want him to be charged with.
Right, that's true.
Adib Mijalala Feti Echego wagging or something terrorism ge dawa ge dashong, I think. And that is not what we are accusing. It's like corruption and larceny and these are other crimes. I think even if these two are released under this due process, in the future where we have a democratic state and rule of law and the ability to investigate these people, I think it is still possible to do this. I just don't see that happening.
That is a little encouraging for me, because I would like me fair trials to be carried out against these people. And MU fatang ereneti sama emasal takahedi inge. And I can't and I want to see fair trials happen. Adukoba areng Gayuma idukolo sama dawa kurata mespadam benam, because he needs to be answerable. Jalu shooting Naja, countless people who died in prisons.
The Baver Mehon Bagi Wahid Gayum. The guy like a Huriham, Yamin me Shiny Umaru. Mitibehus Hama Dawa Kuranje Mehon Egota Balanya. I do sort of see the point in like Dunia Gahentantanabes Hagigi and sustainable badaling as Samiyati through uncomfortable deals with ugly people. So some amount of political deal making is a fact of life. It cannot be ruled out. But yes, for me, the ideal situation in 2008 would have been a truth and reconciliation process.
Absolutely, I agree.
We're not going to pursue this vendetta. Yes, we are going to look forward to the future, but we are not going to pretend this did not happen. Take what happened, acknowledge it, apologize for it, or publicly mika mihenna hinga diye acknowledge kofa, then go forward. But once you pretend nothing happened, then this thing just continues to fester though, and that is I think what we are all suffering from.
ಅನ್ನಿಗೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಬೋಡು ಫೇಲ್ ಇನ್ನಕಿ ಅನೆ MDP ಸರ್ಕಾರುಗೆ that a process no feshika and eti do madu madu atak govi was eti came back to bite him and everybody else and then sarkar vettuni was de ham ඒ මස්සලගේ වාහක අදිවස් අන්නිස් දක්කාක බේන මෙන්නෝ නොනිය කීවතොනු කුරී කීවස් නොනිය ඩිලේ කුරී කීවස් none of it.
And then 2008 I think the truth and reconciliation process would have been somewhat easier. Like, yes, a lot of people suffered, a lot of people went to jail, but I think today we are even worse off than Gayyum at his worst. Rilwan is still missing. There's no updates on his case. Afrashim was murdered. People have been killed, and there's been multiple stabbings and killings and so much huge crimes, grand theft of things, in public, MMPRC scandal, and all of these things have happened to the point where these are like extremely criminal acts that is not just Tirisaharuga dictatorship where things happen. This is like very targeted attacks on people. I don't know if I have it in me to forgive Yameen just for acknowledging this. I feel like he should be charged, and I feel like a lot of people should be charged today. But again, I'm not the right person or an appropriate authority in this matters to decide misalaka miye emmarangolugotaki, but I do feel we have reached this stage today because we did not do those things in 2008.
I absolutely agree with you. I'm we come hanna how
Yeah, so let's wind up the final story.
All right,
and normally yeah
it's boduwahakeng as in because this is more important. Me 5 state employees charged with negligence in 3-year-old's murder.
Yeah, so normally when I do this blog post I use some amount of humor and trivialization, but this is like one story I just could not do that to. So this is about the 3-year-old Ibtihal's death in murder in early 2015. So 5 officials of the gender ministry and 1 policeman are now facing negligence charges over the murder. So I was reading more into it, and it is very, very, very fucked up, this story. So Ibtihal was found dead, and he had strangle marks on his neck. He had bruises on his forehead. He had broken ribs and scars all over the body. And the mamma higher kurimi masalaga. Mamma kota gendiyama etanagos ebbasfi marali kamasha aniya kurika. Ekamako and more details came out afterwards, and one of them was that the child was not the divehi amako bappen kunjake, which means bappen honnane, but it's born out of wedlock. So you can sort of imagine the sort of pressures on an unwed mother and a bastard child in the Maldives. And I think I hardly know anybody who hasn't engaged in zina or whatever in the Maldives.
Exactly, yeah.
Everybody, whether you're married, you're single, adultery and fornication, this is common in the Maldives. But we tend to single out anybody who has evidence of it. On a court of Hong Bafi had the Jahatan Balam West Dan Baver Meho and had the Jahako most more times than not, it's normally the girl who has
Who
to
is
suffer
always
through
the
that.
victim, the guy never gets into trouble.
Yeah, so then once that happens, they get labeled as that adulterer, that slut. Um, so I can't even imagine basically the pressures that would be on somebody who is an unwed mother in the Maldives. And I know some other instances when this has happened. Um, so she appears to have vented out her resentment, frustration, anger on this child. Um, and this is again the part where society gave me wider context about this. Ignore kuraka halake sakkanne. Yes, the woman is definitely guilty of murder and crime if she has accepted it. I'm not justifying that, but at the same time, do also acknowledge the wider social role in creating the circumstances in which a person has to do this. And then that was not even all of it. Um, it appears that mm, the authorities knew about this abuse. Emihunna baik anga fawe. I think probably the neighbors or family members had reported this, and yet they failed to protect the child.
Hence the negligence charges, right?
Hence the negligence charges against the gender ministry. And I think this is important to set a precedent that no, this is a 3-year-old. This is cannot be taken lightly. Any abuse case against any child has to get the full attention of the state. If you have to err, it has to be on the side of caution. You cannot take a chance with a child. But there was even more to the story, and I didn't even put all of it into the article, but it seems that the mother's stepfather, the child's grandfather, had been sexually and physically abusing both of them.
The mother and the boy.
And the boy. And there is reason to believe that the boy could have been his son.
Really?
So, yes. So the man has been formally charged with incest. And this story is so fucked up on every level. I it's just, you sort of lose hope in humanity, the faith in humanity, just reading this. So there is no happy news anywhere in this. It's just one endless series of fucked up incidents.
Well, let's hope that his death isn't going to be in vain.
Yeah, let's just hope this doesn't repeat. But I do want to say that when I first came to Mali in 2009, late 2009, I was hanging out with. I just met Real One, the blogger Maya Meha, and we would talk. And I was very idealistic. I was like, "Badal Korev," and there was like I was still on the afterglow of democratic change, and we have overthrown Gayyum. We can do so much more. Social society fix kurang. And while I was the positive optimist, Real One was sort of more in tune with Rajya reality. I was a complete outsider just coming in with this fancy ideas. But Real One said that this is, you don't understand that the society is more fucked up than you think. And then he mentioned this case of some person in Lama Atoll, if I remember, who was basically sleeping with his daughter. And once you abuse a child, apparently to a certain point, it's like the child basically loses this. Like even when they reach the age of consent, they sort of go with it. It's like this is their normalcy, sort of. And this person is just living, and I was unable to process this bit of information. Then there was this Quran teacher, some Gari, who was convicted of pedophilia, basically child abuse. and he was let go by court. I saw him on the streets, though regularly. I've seen him around, and again, this was something that I had trouble, just wrapping my mind around, because where I had come from, if there was somebody who was a child abuser, even in prisons they would be like targeted. If this person was a free man in a village, they would be like forced out. You wouldn't be allowed to
Mm-hmm.
function normally and be also a respected member of society.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another case of a known pedophile Gurwan teacher, convicted apparently in court, and people would send their children to his place
Hmm.
to learn Gurwan.
That
And
makes no sense.
that makes no sense. It is irresponsible, it is wrong. But ekkala Gurwan teacher evvima enage gossa amilla dari milani to a non-pedophile, convicted pedophile's house. What is the meaning of that? And these are people who should not be allowed to breed or have children. This is not accepted. The fact that these people can exist in society, be convicted of it, and still function in close proximity with children without facing any consequences is indicative to me of a social problem, Rajega. We try to avoid issues by not talking about it or not acknowledging it. If we don't look at it or if we don't talk about it, maybe it will be fine. And I think that's sort of what all of this is about.
I mean, there's Malagas. I think let's not call name names. No, there's a teacher, and Tangola Puriga early 90s or mid 90s somewhere that me Iskandar school teacher, and I think that person was convicted. Now this person's free out in the public. Now he's back teaching and homeschooling and taking tuition classes. Then people are sending their children to him, and it's probably repeating again. I don't know.
Yes, and the fact that anybody can do this still blows my mind. But back then it was something I just could not deal with, because this was so completely against everything normal and sane to me. And I kept asking Real One, I was like, why don't people talk about it? Why is this not? And these people are free to walk around, go about their daily routines, but Real One wasn't. Real One has been disappeared because he was the one who spoke about it. Him abadu se wahaka dakka miha kuberiwane dahaka dakka miha goswane e wahaka nudakka tibon rajyage emme fase hegotake ehem wima egotakkannege ahare memmi rayatum gengulem beenam mane sarukarum less. There's this word and that is something I strongly feel against. And when I read stories like this, it really affects me.
Well, it would affect any normal person, and it's understandable. These are very disturbing things that's happening in our society, and a lot of people just seem to be okay with it. Those of us who can't be okay with it are disturbed by it.
So yeah, and that was I had to end the article and probably today's video on a kind of serious note because of how fucked up it is, And this is our reality. This has happened, and I do not see any outrage from certain quarters, even Adini or the militant, the Indefenders on Facebook. I don't see them come out with the same outrage as at this, child molestation and murder of children and incest and corruption and theft, and all these issues exist in our society. Huriha echa dokalla fa ekkala Yameen Rasheed Facebook post ekkogen no ta tweet ekkogen Ekamarulias ke mimi hantammi mojo naim ana video yang hadagen
But
adaka ko
why though?
ehnet ko
Why? What's the?
angin kujja ko painting ekura hagen
Hmm.
mi da mimi honnammi Gaumuge emme bodu kamaka fenigan miulan and I find that is incredibly hypocritical and cowardly of them. The fact that they do not talk about this, they do not address this, is completely undermines their whole position as guardians of morality or as moral anything. They're not
Mm-mm.
moral.
I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you. It's unbelievable that me harman na me baong kami ho na okay we can tibe kamu.
Mm. Well, yeah. That was it for the week's headlines.
Right, we did
Anything
very
final
good.
comments you have?
No, we did very good because
Yeah.
we are
Only half an hour.
1.5 hours on target. He could got up me because the last one was so long that we
Yeah,
needed
yeah.
to just keep this in check. So that worked out very well.
Hmm. So we are done.
Right.
Let's wind up for now.
All right. Well, thank
Meet
you.
again next week.
Thank you
Yeah.
for joining me.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
Right.
Bye.